Yeah, significant developments. We've been telling you for the last couple of days that both Ole Gunnar Solskjær and Michael Carrick are at the forefront of Manchester United's search for an interim manager to take charge of the team for the remainder of the season. Well, I've been told today that it's now looking increasingly unlikely that the two will be asked to work together. Now, both former players remain at the forefront of Manchester United's plans, but it could now be a straight choice between the two of them to see which man will take charge of the team for the 17 remaining Premier League matches and, of course, any further FA Cup games that Manchester United get beyond that tie against Brighton on Sunday. On assessment, it seems that United's bosses have decided that both Carrick and Solskjær work best as a number one. And so it could be a choice straight between the two of them. Now, they've been impressed with the current interim, Darren Fletcher, both in the way he's carried himself around Carrington's training ground, how he's interacted with the media, and crucially, how he's built up a rapport very quickly with the Manchester United players, many of those he already knows, of course. So that's bought them a bit of time, I think, especially for Jason Wilcox, the director of football. And now I don't expect an appointment of the interim manager until the end of the season. I don't expect that decision to be made before Sunday's game against Brighton. I think United will be patient. They want to make sure that they get the right man in place. They know they've still got an awful lot to play for, with the chance of European, maybe even Champions League football at stake. And so discussions will continue over the coming days, and there's no urgency around those conversations. I should also add that Ruud van Nistelrooy is still in the mix to potentially be Manchester United's interim manager for the rest of the season. Not a lot of people have discussed him. That's because United don't really feel the need to talk to him too much at the moment. The current regime know him very, very well. He was assistant to Erik ten Hag, then became interim manager when ten Hag was sacked in October 2024, had 4 games in charge under them. And so they know him pretty well, whereas with Solskjær and Carrick, they feel Jason Wilcox has an awful lot more to learn about how they would approach the job and the sort of way they would work. So expect those conversations to happen over the coming days. Both men, Carrick and Solskjær, have had some personal commitments which have meant those talks have been delayed a little bit. But as I say, Manchester United in no rush. They want to make sure they've got a new man in place in time for the Manchester derby, which is next weekend.
Manchester United's search for an interim manager has taken a significant tone, with fresh developments emerging over the past hours. For several days, sources close to the club indicated that Ole Gunnar Solskjær and Michael Carrick were leading candidates to guide the team for the remainder of the season. However, it is now understood that the prospect of both former players working together is increasingly unlikely. Instead, the club hierarchy appears to be leaning towards a straight choice between the two, with one individual expected to take sole charge for the final 17 Premier League fixtures, as well as any further FA Cup involvement beyond the upcoming tie against Brighton. Assessments within the club suggest that both Solskjær and Carrick are seen as stronger when operating as a number one, prompting United's decision-makers to narrow their focus. In the meantime, the club has been encouraged by the way current interim figure Darren Fletcher has conducted himself, both on the training ground at Carrington and in his dealings with the media, while also quickly building rapport with the squad. This has afforded Director of Football Jason Wilcox additional time, with no immediate rush to make an appointment before the Brighton match. United remain patient, fully aware that European qualification, potentially even Champions League football, is still within reach. Discussions are set to continue calmly, with Ruud van Nistelrooy also remaining an option, given his previous interim spell following Erik ten Hag's departure and the board's familiarity with his approach.